So, a new AI tool just hit the scene, and it didn't just make a few waves, it set off a full blown tsunami across the entire global tech market. We're talking shockwaves felt from Wall Street all the way to the IT hubs in Bangalore. So, what in the world is this thing, and why is everyone freaking out? Let's get into it.
All right, so where do we see the first shockwaves? Straight to the stock market. I mean, almost immediately, we saw this sudden, brutal downturn that slammed some of the biggest names in the IT world. It was a huge red flag that investor confidence was seriously shaken.
And I mean, just take a look at the damage. Huge Indian IT giants. We're talking Infosys, TCS, Wipro. Their stocks just took a nosedive. And this wasn't some minor dip. This was a massive industry-wide sell-off. It just goes to show you how deeply this one piece of news rattled everyone. So what on earth could trigger a fall like this? It wasn't a bad earnings report. It wasn't some big economic crisis. Nope. The real reason was something much more fundamental. A new piece of technology that's calling the entire software industry's business model into question.
In fact, some analysts are already calling this the SaaS-pocalypse. Yeah, pretty dramatic, I know, but it really captures this huge shift in thinking. For years, we all kind of assumed that AI would just be a helpful sidekick for software companies. But the new fear, the one that's got investors spooked, is that AI isn't here to be a sidekick, it's here to replace the hero entirely. So let's pull back the curtain. Who's behind all this chaos? It all comes down to a new tool from a startup called Anthropic. And trust me, if you hadn't heard of them before, you definitely have now.
So what is this thing? Well, at its heart, it's a tool that can automate an entire workflow from start to finish. Think about that for a second. We're not talking about an AI that helps write a little bit of code. We're talking about an AI that can take a project from the very first idea all the way to the final product, with almost no human help needed.
And that right there, that's the billion-dollar question that's freaking out investors. I mean, think about it. If you're a business and you can just use one AI tool to do a whole complicated job for you, why would you ever need to hire a massive IT company with thousands of employees to do the same thing? It's a direct threat to a business model that's been the engine of the tech world for decades. Okay, so when a business model is on the ropes, you know what comes next, right? People start asking about jobs. Is this new AI really a threat to the millions and millions of people working in software, especially in places like India's huge IT sector? You see, for decades, the playbook has been the same. Big companies in the West would outsource tons of work, like reviewing documents, analyzing data, and testing software, to IT firms in India. That's been the bread and butter of the industry. But now, you have Anthropic's tool stepping in and saying, hey, we can do all of that automatically. And a lot of experts are pointing their fingers at one area in particular: entry-level roles. We're talking about those core jobs in software development and testing, the very jobs that are the foundation of the entire IT services industry. Those are the ones that seem to be most vulnerable to this new wave of automation. Which, of course, begs the question, who is this company, Anthropic, that just seemingly came out of nowhere and shook up an entire industry? Let's take a quick look. Okay, so get this, they're not exactly rookies. The company was started back in 2021 by a bunch of people who actually left OpenAI. Yeah, the ChatGPT folks. Their main AI is named Claude, and it's a huge competitor to ChatGPT. But they do things a little differently. They use something they call constitutional AI, which is basically a set of rules baked into the AI to make sure it's safer and more ethical. And just so we're clear, we're not talking about some garage startup here. Anthropic has some serious firepower. We're talking billions of dollars in funding from giants like Google and Amazon. These guys are major players in the AI game. All right, so you've got a super powerful tool, you've got a company with deep pockets, so what now? Where do we go from here? It really feels like this is a turning point in how we all think about AI's role in the world. For the longest time, the story we all told ourselves about AI was pretty comforting, right? The idea was that AI is here to help us. It's going to be our assistant, our co-pilot, just a tool to make us better at our jobs. But what this new tool from Anthropic just slammed down on the table is a whole new reality, a much scarier one. The conversation isn't about help anymore. It's quickly shifting to replace. That's the real fear behind this whole SaaS apocalypse thing. And that leaves us with this one giant looming question. We just saw a single AI tool create a financial shockwave based purely on its potential. Is this it?
Is this the moment we're all going to look back on as the beginning of the end for the software industry as we know it?